Okay, so One Piece fans, we got some major news that I'm still like, yo, what the heck is going on? We got 2 new One Piece anime movies announced, and it's just like, yo, what is going on here? Oda! What are you doing to me, Oda? What's happening here, Oda? What's going on, Toei Animation? What's happening, Shueisha? Where are we going with this? Because this news kind of came out of nowhere, and at the same time, it didn't, because it was kind of hinted at, and they announced somewhat of murmurings around about a year ago or so that One Piece was getting a new film, but then they just decided to drop the bombshell on us. They decided, you know what? Why get one film when you could have 2 films? So we're going to talk about that, as well as we got the One Piece character popularity poll that brought quite a bit of controversy that I'm sure if you know, you're going to want to stick around to hear about this, and it kind of explains certain aspects of why certain things happened and why certain things didn't happen. But I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get straight to it. Well, before we continue, just hit that subscribe button and that bell if you haven't already, so you could get notified on anything and everything in the world of anime and manga. I got you covered. Hit them buttons, okay? If you don't hit them buttons, Eiichiro Oda is gonna come through your window and drop kick you like on some Spider-Man stuff. Like, I don't know. So you might want to hit them buttons. Well, maybe you want Oda to come. Either way, Oda gonna come and drop kick you if you subscribe. How about that? You want Oda in your bedroom? Hit the subscribe button, bro. So yes, One Piece fans, the big news that is rocking, pun intended. Ay, Dios mío. Yes, One Piece is getting 2 brand new films, and it's about freaking time. Like, yo, when was the last time we got a One Piece? Oh my god, was One Piece Stampede no, I almost forgot about the One Piece movie with, what was it, Shanks' daughter? Yeah, that was the last film. Actually saw it in theaters. Actually did a film review of it, and somehow, what was it? Film Red! And that was the last film, and that was, sheesh, like 4 years now or some given point, somewhere around there. So it's been a long time, and I've been thinking to myself for a while now, like, it has been a long time since we got a new One Piece film, and I completely understand that One Piece has had pretty much quite a few things going on over the last several years, from the live action getting a second season. There's just been so much with One Piece, to be honest with you. The remake on the way and whatnot. So it's been like, yo, dog, all of that is fine. Can I just go to the theaters and watch One Piece? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all that is great. You know, Lego One Piece, I'm gonna watch it, fine. The One Piece remake, might as well, you know, all good, all fine and dandy and all that stuff. Can I go to the theater and watch One Piece again, bro? It's been too long. The last film, like, they scared the living crap out of everybody with sad stuff, and we ain't in the business of scaring people, you know what I'm saying? We want some good, although, based on what we know, which you're about to find out, these 2 One Piece films, one of which is gonna probably get most people, like, yo, honestly, one of these One Piece films, I can't speak on the second one, but based on the titling, because we got some information on these films, based on the titling of one of these films, is probably going to be a One Piece film that, even if you're not into One Piece, I would highly recommend going and watching. Even if you're not into One Piece, you could probably watch it and have the time of your life and be like, oh my god, if this was always One Piece, it would be a 2,000 out of 10 type of deal, based on the titling of one of these films. Because, yeah, they're going in a certain direction. They're going in a different direction with One Piece this time around. They're following suit from some of the previous successes that they had. And, well, let's read the articles and we'll talk some more, but but yeah, there's quite a bit to say, so let's read, shall we? One Piece confirms 2 new movies and is making history with biggest arc yet. One Piece has officially announced that it's now working on 2 new feature film releases for the near future, and the first of these movies is making history for the franchise when it adapts one of the biggest events in Eiichiro Oda's original manga yet. It's been no secret that One Piece has been hard at work on a new feature film release for quite a while, as Oda himself confirmed this to be the case not long ago, but there was an even bigger surprise for fans in store. And just being honest, the announcement came and went. Like, it's not that it's been like, everybody's been talking, like, most people have not been like really with this movie on their radar, because many One Piece fans are snobs. Like, I'm gonna just keep it all the way real. They're snobs. They look at like, oh, Stampede was trash and this film was trash, and they don't just really go and enjoy it. So it's not like people have been, now all of a sudden all the One Piece fans are oh my god, this movie, we love One Piece movies. You guys are frauds. Not all of you, but like, yo, mad people out there, they be pretending, they be frauds about stuff like, yeah, I'm into One Piece, yeah, but when it came to the films, most people always talk crap about them. Now suddenly, because of the title of one of these films, people are like, yeah, man, we're going to the One Piece theaters. Get out of here, stop it, y'all lying, y'all frauds, and if you take offense to this, you're a fraud. Not the viewers, not my ForneverWorld people. just other people. One Piece took to the stage during a special worldwide streamed One Piece Day 2026 event this past weekend and revealed some big updates for the franchise's future. It was here that Toei Animation confirmed that they were not only working on a new One Piece movie, but revealed that there are actually 2 new movies now in the works. But the first of these movies is going against a major trend for the franchise, as it's actually set to adapt materials from Oda's manga with the God Valley flashback. One Piece film God Valley has been announced for a scheduled release in Japan sometime summer 2027, and then it will be followed by One Piece film Baad, the second film, coming in 2029. International release dates or plans have yet to be revealed. Usually they come to North America about a few months, no more than like 4 to 6 months after the release in Japan, usually. Like, it's rare that they take a while. I think maybe the Demon Slayer movie took a long time because, well, Demon Slayer is an anomaly, but yeah. Nor has it yet been confirmed what production staff is going to bring these new movies to life. It'll be Toei, but there's quite a lot to dig into with the announcement of these new movies, given they buck a big trend. One Piece film God Valley, why are they saying One Piece film? Just call it One Piece God Valley movie or something. Like, why One Piece film? I keep wanting to say film gold. Will be adapting the God Valley flashback arc as seen during the events of the Elbaf arc of Eiichiro Oda's original manga series. This does make a lot of sense given that the God Valley incident doesn't take up as many chapters of the manga release and could be told within a single movie's runtime, but that does raise a lot of questions about how the TV anime is going to move forward, since the film is the first in this long-running franchise to directly adapt the manga story. The first phase of the One Piece Elbaf arc will be ending its run in just a few more weeks with the end of summer 2026 anime schedule, and then the TV anime will be taking a few months off before returning with its next season 2027. The TV series has confirmed it will only be releasing about 26 episodes a year overall, so there's a chance that it might be using this movie to fully adapt the God Valley incident and thus skipping over it in the episodes themselves, which is certainly going to be interesting when thinking about its worldwide audience. Why did I want to say audience like that? Shout outs to the audience. Indeed covers the God Valley flashback next summer, right when it would take place in the TV anime version of the Elbaf arc. Then there's a chance that fans outside of Japan will be missing this crucial piece of context as the TV anime continues the story beyond the incident. Since this seems to be the first movie with a not original story, fans are going to want to keep a close eye on this one to see what's next. Alright, so let's get into it. For starters, 1000%, if you're not in support of this, or even if you're in support of this, whatever the case may be, let's be honest here, we're gonna blame all of this, for better or worse, on Demon Slayer. This is all Demon Slayer's fault that this is happening. Personally, I think this is a great thing, but still, it's Demon Slayer's fault. Ever since Demon Slayer saw that ginormous, record-breaking, became the biggest film of all time of any category, any type of genre in Japan with the Mugen Train film, that was it. Shueisha saw dollar signs and never looked back and tried to do this with every franchise, and that was One Piece's turn because they realized, well, the last One Piece film did great. Well, what was it, 150 mil, 100 mil somewhere? It did phenomenal. Might have been 200 mil. I can't even remember anymore. But it's a few hundred mil at the very least, somewhere in that ballpark. And imagine what they would do if they replicated not only that people run to One Piece for, you know, it's because it's One Piece, but then you take one of the most incredible and well-received arcs of recent times, the God Valley incident arc, put that in, and opposed to just like, you know, making it an arc, you skip that arc and you turn it into a film, and you do what Demon Slayer did, because Demon Slayer's Mugen Train was originally an arc in the manga turned into an anime movie, and you continued the story that way. So trying to replicate that is like adding One Piece's already success with the, you could say, gimmick of turning an arc into a movie and putting it in theaters, a recipe for success. Because, well, considering that One Piece, non-One Piece fans, usually just because they want to be a part of it, or like, oh, One Piece is popular, I want to be a part of this, woohoo! They'll run to the theaters for this thing. But then you also got the One Piece fans that are usually snobs and usually, I'm not gonna, it's not canon, they don't want to say it's canon. Well, those people, they're gonna actually, well, okay, it's canon, I guess I can go to the theater. So you're gonna get those people to come and support as well, and not dog walk it or whatnot. So this is gonna be probably critically acclaimed. It's just a matter, fine line that they're gonna be toting with this film is whether or not they can make it friendly for people outside of One Piece. If they can find the fine line to making this movie where you don't need to watch One Piece to watch this movie and enjoy it, this could be a billion-dollar film, because One Piece fans are all going out, they're probably going to watch this multiple times, they're going to support it, they're going to love it, they're going to talk about it on social media, they're going to everything like that. The marketing is right there in and of itself from the fans. So all you need to do now is figure out a way to shape this and mold this to where it's still very faithful to the source material, of course. And I'm not saying change anything from the source material, but market it towards where normies can get in. Because if you can find that fine line, we're talking $1 billion here. The One Piece fans are already like, oh my, I can't take it. I need this film right now. And then also, I'm curious how it's going to affect the schedule of the anime, because again, you think about it, let's just say it's a 2-hour film. That's about what, 6 episodes of TV anime, 5-6 episodes more or less. So that's about like, you know, give or take, maybe the next season of One Piece might not be 26 episodes. Maybe it might be 20 episodes and a film or something like that. So maybe that's the route they're gonna go. But then also, remember, there's 2 films. There's this God Valley film that everybody's talking about, but then there's One Piece film Baad. And it's kind of funny because it's just the extra O, but it's kind of basically like One Piece film good and film bad, because God, you know, with the extra O, good, bad, so it's good and bad. That's probably somewhat of the subliminal marketing there. One Piece film Baad might go the same direction. It might be adapting something that has yet to even happen, so it might be already like something that Oda penned a while back or recently, or will pen here in the near future, that they're going to adapt for that 2029 film. But right now they're probably, with all intents and purposes, focusing in on God Valley. And this is the big One Piece announcement. Like, there's nothing really else in One Piece world that you can announce other than maybe like a spin-off manga that is being written by Oda that I would really care about to this like magnitude. Like live action, cool. The One Piece remake, cool. You know, whatever the case may be, all the stuff that we usually get, the Lego thing, that's actually exciting, but it's still in the realm of cool. This right here, when you got One Piece film, that's when I'm like, yeah, I'm on board, baby. Let's talk some One Piece, baby. I'm here for it. Especially that they're going the Demon Slayer route. Going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. Will they be able to pull it off? I'm going to say this could again be $500 million to $1 billion if they do it correctly. But again, how is it going to affect the TV anime? Where is that going to go? And then One Piece film Baad, we just really don't know. But fans have been saying this for a while, to be honest. I think even going all the way back to Stampede, when we first started hearing about the Rocks Pirates, I remember people had this fan-made thing of One Piece film Rocks was going to be the next film, and then we got film Red instead. Maybe that was in the plans, who knows. But regardless of what, yeah, there you have it for what's happening with One Piece. But then we have a little bit of controversy that some people are upset or clowning or talking crap, whatever you want to call it, regarding the One Piece character popularity poll. And it's going to explain something, so bear with me if you don't understand One Piece world. I'll walk you through it. Essentially, a One Piece popularity poll happened where people out there, they bought the magazines, they bought the Shonen Jump, and basically with each issue of Shonen Jump, they would get a card, and if they mailed in that card with their vote would have like 10 votes. It was worth like 10 votes or something like that. So every time you cast it in your vote, you could vote for your character. Well, the One Piece character popularity poll came in, and the results for the most part are like, yeah, Luffy number 1, Zoro number 2. But the top 30 is where there was a discrepancy, where people were kind of like, what happened? And in particular, Katakuri fans, you know, the red-haired character, whatever the heck, why wasn't he included in the top 30? But then you see a character known as Cracker, this purple-haired character that made it into the top 30 at like place 21, somewhere around there. And people are very like, what? How the hell did Cracker make it in there? What's going on here? And it's causing a big stir. Some people are kind of not laughing about it, but just like surprised. Like, if you're laughing about it, like, why? Like, it's a popularity poll. Shut up. But essentially, Cracker making it into 21 was mainly due to, and the reason why also people are laughing about it is because Cracker's not the most major character. He hasn't been like primarily involved in things for a while, so there's that. But Cracker's appearance and whatnot was due to essentially a super fan, and essentially him beating out Katakuri, because I guess that's like a bro or something like that. Him beating out Katakuri into the top 30 is mainly due to the fact that this super fan invested immensely in Cracker. And what I mean by that is the super fan bought like trillions of Shonen Jump issues, and like they actually even posted a photo, they're on social media, of all the Shonen Jump issues they bought, and every vote they would put would be like 10 votes. So they, I think, what was it, like 9,000 magazines or something like that? It was a crazy amount that this person invested. This person probably got some, you know, got the bag, so to speak. So props to this person, right? How you gonna hate on somebody for having money? Like, if you hate on somebody for having money, you're a loser. But yeah, this person, every single vote that they put in was for Cracker. So all of this was just basically like a massive super fan that very much so wanted Cracker to win, and managed to get Cracker in the top 30 at number 21 with the immense support of all of these Shonen Jump magazines. And I ain't gonna lie, it's surprising, especially the whole Katakuri situation, because Katakuri just barely missed out on the top 30, but Cracker made it in. Shout out to the super fans out there, and that's what happened for the most part. Like, again, results are predictable. Luffy number 1, Zoro number 2. We get it. Everybody loves the Straw Hats. Rah. The Cracker one is kind of what caused the controversy, and a lot of people are looking at it like, yo, you got the bag, bruh. And homie was like, yeah, I got the bag. And what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? But let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. What do you think about One Piece film God Valley? One Piece God Valley. How are you feeling about that? Are you excited? If you're a non-One Piece fan, are you going to watch this film? If you're a One Piece fan, are you going to watch this film? If you're a One Piece movie hater, are you gonna watch this film now because it's gonna be all the source material? And what do you think about One Piece film Baad? Any predictions? Any theories? And how do you feel about the popularity poll of Cracker making it into the top 30 at place number 21? Whoever supported that person is just they showing love. Yo, sometimes a super fan can take you to the levels that you never could even dream of. Having just one super fan is all it takes to make sometimes your dreams come true. Look, it happened for Cracker, baby. Let's go. That's all for this one. I'm ForneverWorld. As always, people, have an awesome day. Peace in, and yeah, One Piece, 2 movies, Cracker. Yeah. Have an awesome one. Peace.